I'm going to wait on Bobby, then we'll get started. Just kind of the early slate stuff and talk about whatever. Let's see. Both of us had pretty good days yesterday. We're already off to a good start today. We'll talk about that more when he gets here. So. Hey, what's going on, Joanne? Good to see you. What's up, K9? I had some, I guess management had some, we used to say this in, when we did, was it PXF that we did this? Management? Yeah, when Cliff and I backed like a whole bunch of people, and one of us actually did really, really well, we would say that management did really well. And I don't know how, I think, so K9, I know he did well in the single entry yesterday. I actually won the single entry in the early slate yesterday. And then in the evening slate, we took different routes in the NBA. Bobby played just one lineup in a big buy-in, and I played a bunch of lineups in a little buy-in. And we both did well. He did really, I mean, he cashed big. He chopped that up with a lineup that was like 15 points worse than mine, but that's why, because, mine had, had to face 10,000 people. But overall, I mean, just really, really good results for everybody yesterday. I was just kind of recapping yesterday, Bobby, first, before going into today. Again, just to reiterate, I won the single entry in the early slate.
This is nice, yeah.
Then in basketball, I mentioned we took two different routes. I didn't want to play anything in the big buy. I just played like 30 like lottery.
Yeah, I saw your lineup up there in the other one.
Yeah, like 30 lottery tickets, and then Bobby said, I don't feel like playing lineups. I'm gonna put one lineup in the 555, and it was funny. I was rooting myself in. I was in like 500th place with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, but I had everybody, and I knew that nobody was going to get a chance to play in the fourth quarter. So I'm like, all right, I got to pile on with Memphis, and I just went all the way up to like 8th, and then they started taking people out. I'm dead. Let's see if I can hold on. And I wonder if there's anybody that was on the court that anybody had, and the only guy that was on the court anybody had was Anderson. And I'm saying, I wonder if anybody got there. So I actually held on for like 15th in that thing. And then when I saw that you got there and you chopped with Salmon, oh, by the way, also chopped the lottery.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, oh, awesome. So like we took two different routes, and we both won. Obviously, you had a really, really big day, and we're back in business. I started out today taking down the single entry League of Legends tournament.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah, for 2,500.
That's awesome.
We are off and running.
Beautiful.
FS Chan, I'm glad that you're in here because I have a question for you. So one of the things I'm kind of planning for the summer is I'm planning around trying to go to this Worlds event in the city, this League of Legends thing, just kind of part of my like world tour of sports I've never, that I have no idea about. But I did NASCAR last year. I've been going to golf, whatever. And I wanted to do the Worlds. And, when it first came out, the announcement, oh, cool, I'll go in the Worlds when they actually schedule it. I don't know exactly when it is yet. I guess they're gonna post it soon. And if you can give me a little more color on when you think it would happen, Chan, so that I could sort of plan for it. I know tickets aren't on sale yet, but one thing I do know is that just based on like the buzz that I'm hearing, this is probably going to be one of the toughest tickets to get in the history of sports. I can't. I don't know. I didn't. I should have anticipated this idea. Um, but like it's all the buzz, and it's a Hulu theater in Madison Square Garden, which is the small theater. I don't know how many people fit in there, maybe 5,000. That's going to sell out in literally 10 seconds when they announce it. Just based on the buzz that I'm hearing. Oh, so you think it's not till October, November, Chan? Oh, okay. Well, that's actually helpful to me. I don't have to sweat it for a little while, but okay, because I'm I don't care what that costs. I'm definitely buying tickets to that one. That's for sure. Okay, so let's it's interesting. This baseball slate is early slate. I was all set, and then they scratched the cheapo from St. Louis and replaced him with Mats. So I had to replace everything. I had to redo everything. And what I was gonna say is that my initial builds in the early slate was probably gonna leave like $8 billion on the table, just because like whatever. And even with Mats, I find myself leaving some money on the table here. And I'm curious to see, if you're playing the early slate, what you're doing, because I right now have it was going to be like the worst pitching slate like ever, and now I'm kind of forced to like go 100% Mats. Is that wrong, or what are you doing here?
Yeah, I think you could make a really good argument to stack against him.
Ooh, there you go.
You got to get different. It's a 3-game slate now.
Right.
In order to do that, we probably need to try and think of something like that. So I'll play 2 lineups. Mats will probably be in one, and it'll probably be at least a mini Baltimore stack on the other side with the Mancini, Santander, Hayes. Maybe I'd consider Mancini or Mountcastle, and then I'd throw Mullins in there. But yeah, I think that's a good route to try to get different, sort of a la your Reds play from yesterday.
Yeah.
Excuse
me, but you know what really separated that lineup? The guy that we talked about, the one-off that I thought everybody was going to play in Vogelbach, was 4% owned on like a 2-game slate.
Vogelbach was?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I don't know. But I guess there must have been a really good play at first base, you know what I mean? That just didn't do it. I guess that had to be the case. I forget. Or I forget that slate. But yeah, maybe that's correct, Bobby. Just the same thing, just kind of take a shot with against him. Because right now what I'm doing is I'm playing Mats, and then the other pitchers I'm using Caprillion. And there's another one I'm using the Brisky, whoever that is, and I'm using 10% of the Adon too. One thing I don't have any of is Walker, which is I don't want to say scary, whatever it is. I have like all kinds of Washington today, so we'll see.
I think that makes sense. I think yeah. I'm going to have some Walker, but I think that makes sense for sure. I think I don't really get why Don is so much lower on than everybody else is.
Right.
It doesn't exactly make sense to me. He's actually put up better games than some of these guys like Walker this season, and it just seems like it doesn't really need to be as low owned as he is. So I mean, Matt's clearly in a vacuum is the top choice. I would say Caprillion is pretty clearly the next guy, and right. I think the other guys are a little bit below, but like it doesn't mean that it's baseball. We have high variance all the time, and if there was a slate to play a relief pitcher or something like that on, this would be the slate.
Ooh, okay, that's interesting.
Because there's just you're not you could just play Baker and hope that he has in one inning he gets 2 strikeouts and gets 5 fantasy points or something. There's a reasonable chance that there's sure some of these guys might get double digit, but there's a reasonable chance we only get like one guy who has double digit fantasy points for as a pitcher today. So just I like to try and get really, really different on these little tiny slates. And I think that you should try to, we should try to incorporate some of that stuff, which means playing some bats against Mats. I do think Washington will be lower on than some of the other than the Mets and St. Louis. Obviously, the Mets and St. Louis are the ones that naturally stand out the most. But both sides of the Oakland-Detroit game should be strongly considered as well. And I think that you're going to have some popular bats in there, but you're not going to have some other ones that you will get at lower ownership, especially on the Detroit side. Like no one's going to play Miguel Cabrera, and I'm not going to say that we should in 2022 be touting, playing Miguel Cabrera. But if there was ever a slate to play Miguel Cabrera, this would be the slate.
Oh, you talk about a sheet slate. There's no one getting 100 today.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. I think Baltimore with the Mets makes sense to answer Joanne's question. K9, it'll be closer to football season, so probably a couple months would be the answers. If there's any specific reason, let us know if there's something, in the Discord. What's I don't when people just write things like why I don't know what they're referring to because there's always different times. So if you could let us know what you're trying to question, I'm happy to try to answer it. But Cheats, so you're finding Washington. What else are you doing hitter wise?
Mets. I mean, nothing really weird except the fact I guess I'm getting different by leaving money on the table and not, I guess maybe not playing the best plays. I don't know. Mets, Washington. Those are my top ones.
Yep. I understand that. It's pretty weird that Taiwan Walker's only games this year that he's pitched have all been against Philadelphia.
Is that true? That's so weird. Yeah.
3 starts all against Philly. So I want to give him a little bit of a break because it's not like the best thing in baseball for you when you do that. By the way, Keegan Aiken, where do you stand on this? Because we're expecting the extended relief from him. I don't know how long that'll be, but you know what? Never mind because they made his price 6,100. I was definitely considering playing him, but I didn't realize his price was actually for some reason I had him at 4K on my other sheet.
Huh.
So. Yeah, so I think 6,100 for a guy who's probably only going to pitch 2 innings is too much. But 4K, I would have absolutely played the long relief guy rather than some of these starters because this is, it's pretty miserable.
It's kind of a fishy day for DFS. You know what I mean? You have like 4-game slate, then you have like this bizarro 3 or 4-game slate later. Right?
Yeah,
and then that's the 2-game NBA or 3-game whatever.
Yep. Well, I'm looking forward to the 2-game NBA, and
why not?
I wasn't sweating at all. I knew I had a good chance after the first set of game sheets, but I did. I just stopped. I mean, it's been hectic over here, so I was talking to my aunt for a while, and just sort of was like, oh, I wonder how I'm doing because I probably did have actually a reasonable chance here because Kyle Anderson was low enough owned where it was getting it's a small the 555 is not that many people at this time,
right?
So I looked back and I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. And then I also knew that a couple people who we were tied with at the time were going to drop out because they only had the starters left in that game. But also do want to say, got 3 out of the 4 bets right again yesterday. I got the over/under wrong in the Boston-Milwaukee game.
First game to go under in like years.
First game to go over. Yeah,
I mean that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But I got the over in the other one, and then both of the winning teams right. So that was cool.
Yeah. So Matt was home. We were sweating, and I won on 2. I bet 2 live bets actually. I bet on the Bucks getting 4-1 when they were down in the fourth quarter.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, 4-1.
So I got that one, and actually Matt got bad beat. He had an exact score. He had Bucks to win by 1 or 2.
Oh wow,
that is beat by the free throws at the end. Yeah.
Oh.
And by them not fouling, whatever. So then and then when the Memphis was up by like whatever 16, 7, whatever they were up at the half, they were up by a lot, and Matt was like, well, I want to bet the Warriors to let's bet them plus like 15-1 to win. I'm looking at this, I'm like, why don't you just take Memphis and lay the 17 points, okay, at halftime? What's going to happen is that, or whatever it was, because what's going to happen is the Warriors are down 3 or up 3-1. They know that they're going back home to close it out later. There's no reason they're going to be pushing this freaking game. You know what I mean? Past the first couple of minutes of the third quarter, and then they're going to give up, and that's exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to enter a guy. It's the link. People asking for in the chat for the link to the thing underneath it. So I'm just trying to help this guy out.
That's pretty cool.
It's just funny that it's right above you. Anyway. But yeah, so I'm definitely gonna get a stack with some Baltimore's in it today. I think that'd be a good move. Wait, you bet on I'm trying to figure out what the Memphis bet was exactly.
I just bet on Memphis to blow them out, and they did.
Oh, you did. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Nice. I had a weird feeling about that one too last night. I really liked them to win, but I didn't. I obviously couldn't.
No, but what I did was I waited till what my I don't know. Yeah, you were listening. So at halftime they were already blowing them out, right? But the spread was like pretty reduced anyway, and we were considering just trying to make some hero play on the Warriors, But instead, I'm like, you know what? This game's over. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors are going to take one small shot, and then if not, they're just going to give up, and that's it.
Yep. I mean, I hear you. It was I wouldn't have thought. It was sort of surprising the way it happened, but it was a lot of the plays. We did talk about these things. Like I remember the guys who I said that you want to try and win a tournament with were Portis, Melton.
5% on Portis.
Yep, and it really worked. And anyway, pretty cool stuff. So back to today, guys. Get in any questions or thoughts. I do think that for what it's worth, I have St. Louis, and then I have the Mets in St. Louis basically even. But they're going to be used as filler pieces around the teams that I'm trying to get different with, which is mostly going to be Baltimore and then mixing in different parts of Oakland and Detroit that's going to be lower owned. I think that I would go with it's nice and warm in Detroit today. Like I said, I think the Cabrera, if there was a day to play him, this would be it. Meadows will be popular, but I do like Meadows for what it's worth. And I like Scope down at the bottom batting 6th. So I think Scope is extremely viable. I like on the Oakland side, Seth Brown. Don't expect him to be quite as high owned as some of the other guys. Laureano is probably my favorite, but again, going to be owned. But Noose, Brown, Kemp, and then Bethancourt will be popular, but you can use those other guys to maybe round it out. Maybe even include a Kevin Smith or something if you're going to make a stack, because you do need to get way off the board in order to get different today. There's no reason not to.
Hey, did they refund that game to anybody yesterday or no?
I didn't have any players in that game, and I actually won money on the early slate probably because of it. But I don't know. Somebody else can maybe answer that question, because I think they really. I mean, that's usually a spot where they do, especially if there's sometimes if there's really large amounts of money on the line. I know that they definitely look at it.
Yeah, I got really lucky in that slate because again, I was on the Reds, but almost every one of my Red stacks had Savali. And I was so I would say mad or whatever, it is what it is, but it was like very disappointing. And it turns out the only one that I had without Savali was the one that won, which was that's why.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I was wondering if any of the Savali stuff got. I hate to complain, you know what I mean? So I really didn't want to say, by the way, I won anyway. So
yeah. So,
right.
Yeah, what are you supposed to write at that point? You know,
this is not fair.
Yeah, this win is not. I'm contesting this win.
Right, exactly.
Let's see, Austin Hayes, Mullins, and then we can do the usual. The best chalky plays. All right. I still haven't built my lineup. So in all fairness, and with all honesty, I'm still going to be building. So I'm going to look at see if there's any questions as we go. But Sheets, did you have any like general, I mean, we'll do a night. It's going to be a very small night slate anyway. But
we could do it. You could do it. We could do a quick video after this if you want.
Yeah. We'll do that. It's probably better anyway. I'm just trying to.
But what I'm going to do is I'm probably not going to be live tonight. Because I want to make time for the other thing that we have.
Yeah. That's good. That sounds good to me. I'll be available. I always might have to go for a call, but it's unlikely to be at that time today, so we should be good.
Okay.
St. Louis, and then there we go. And for what it's worth, there's no such thing as needing to stack on this slate, Sheets. Would you agree with that? I mean, sure, you get the correlation is always
but the funny it's so funny. The funny thing, you talk about the ultimate cheat slate. Like yesterday, I was saying, well, one thing that you could do, I spent 15 minutes on this yesterday, right? Was that what you could do is you could just set it to like have 0 5-man stacks, right?
And what with a 5-man stack?
Yeah, of course. Ridiculous.
But I mean, but I mean, we, if someone would have told me that game was going to end up 14-10, I would have thought.
Well, obviously, that was my point.
Yeah, we have not seen anything quite like that exactly yet this season.
No, that's definitely the aberration.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? But the check still cashes, so that's good.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever works. And you can, and by the also on this slate, I think you can use pitchers against your hitters.
Ooh.
There's a 3-game slate. There's no reason why you should.
Close enough, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. That's my buddy. I got to call him back later. But all right. Let me just finish this up real quick. Sorry, guys. I'm scrambling here. Hockey slates tonight. Sheets, what is the hockey slate tonight? Fill me in. I don't even know what's going on.
Always 2 and 3 gamers right now.
Yeah. Okay.
be a 3-gamer, and I'll sheets will be posted, and actually it's a big one, that 4-gamer. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
4-gamer for hockey this tonight. Was it 2 games NBA tonight?
2 games NBA, and that should be a lot of fun. I mean, look, I don't have, I've got things the family stuff that I'm trying to take care of all the time, but I'm mostly, you end up with some free time in the evenings or whatever, and it's really nice to. But it's usually like I usually just catch like half of the late game or something like that. But it's been I mean, even the blowouts have been bad, but like there's been some really, really good. I mean, these are all good series. We can't ask for much more than every series, being 6 games at least. I've really enjoyed it. Excuse me. Seth Brown.
And meanwhile, I put 4. I figured out how to do. I put 4 golfers in my core, and I put them all under 8Ks. And Sean Powers -4, Kim -1, Mitchell -3, and Kazire -2. Those are the 4 cores, and they're all in there. Yeah.
Hey, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I had I didn't play enough of the Munoz, and I was encouraged by friends to get onto it more. So I'm a little frustrated with myself on that one.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, it's still ways to go, obviously, but it's always nice to hit that one. What bats are you using mostly from? Is it the standard guys, Bell, Soto? What are you using from Washington today?
My title going in, my strange guy, whatever that guy's name is.
Oh, right. Yeah, I gotcha. You can still leave tons of money on the table, by the way.
What's that?
You could totally leave tons of money on the table today. There's really no reason.
Ooh, I want to tell you, by the way, you don't want to call your shot early, but was one lineup I'm looking at in golf. I told you I had Power, Kim, Mitchell, and Kazire, like -4, -1, -3, -3. The other 2 golfers in that lineup is JT, who hasn't started, and Sebastian Munoz.
Ooh, that's a beauty.
So we will see. We'll see what happens.
That is a beauty.
That's the noon Thursday shot call.
No, that's awesome. Let's see, Brisky. What am I doing here? And
so let me go back. Let me look. So yeah, I got the Strange Brew. I got Nelson Cruz. I've heard of him. They got the Y Hernandez.
Why Hernandez? Why is that not?
Hernandez.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain was just frozen for a minute.
Josh Bell. I guess the normal guys in the middle of the lineup. I guess.
Are you playing Ruiz?
And Soto, obviously.
Are you playing Ruiz at catcher, or did you end up spending down?
Yeah, I mostly Ruiz, and then the other ones I got the other team. I got the Nito.
Are you getting to like any non-Lindor lineups? Like
I only have 42% Lindor actually.
Okay, it's just shortstop.
Well, because I got the Strange Brew at shortstop.
Yeah, you got the Strange. Yeah. I gotcha.
And besides those 2, I got I got a sliver of. I got the Harold Castro at 2,600.
Okay.
In those lineups.
Okay, let me do this. It's really weird. It's reminding me. I'm getting like PTSD from the flashbacks of trying to build lineups for basketball and being so stressed, and then reminding myself, you really don't have to stress that much about this. It's pretty relaxing, these baseball ones comparatively. What ended up so Minnesota did end up getting postponed last night? Again, guys, I like I said, I had a tiny bit of time where I can watch the games, and if I go visit in
I don't know. It's a good question. I gave up on baseball after a while last night.
Yeah, I didn't. My pitcher got lit up pretty early. I actually still did like well into my secondary lineups somehow. I don't even know how that happened, but it did. So that was nice.
You know what? The other shortstop I have a little bit of the Guillermo, the anti-Lindor.
Yeah. That was the other one. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, you could play him at second base also, but
yeah. All right, there's a couple things out there. What's the max no-hitters you would use against you? Number of hitters I would use against my pitcher. So the max number of hitters I would use against my pitcher I'm only using 1. but I'd be willing to use 2, but I don't think you need to. And I would rather it be a cheaper bat or a Lindor who just stands out at the position. Hernandez for Washington, yeah, I think that's reasonable. Mateo for catcher, I think a good bat might be a bit of a stretch, but I'm definitely in. I'm definitely in on the play.
Thank you, New Age Digital. Game got suspended last night.
Oh, did it? Yeah, I thought. Thank you. Yeah, I figured it was going to, and it was weird because I hated the game anyway. Because you know me, if it's 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, and everybody else is talking about, oh, well, this would be the best stack on the slate. This would be the best. I'm like, I don't know. I would love this game to play so I can fade it. You know, I was
Right.
where I was trying to come from. Anyway, I'm pretty good to go if there's no more questions or any thoughts, guys. With Siren and Fireman in there, I'm just gonna finish my lineups. Yeah, McGill was not one of my finer moments, and you know, on a slate where you can't figure out anything that you like I felt yesterday. Maybe that would have been the best answer. Was just going against the guy who I liked as my pivot pitcher.
Right.
Because everybody we wanted. I mean, I wanted the Rays. The Rays lineup came out way worse than I thought it was going to be. The Angels lineup was horrible. No try. They basically had like 4 guys that were sitting. Every Acuna out for the Braves, and I was just like, God, how do I get to all of these guys I wanted to play? And I just totally, I don't know. It was a terrible slate last night, and tonight's going to be not a whole lot better. It's going to be like this morning. We're going to have to get really, really weird with it just to try to make sense.
All right, so just to give a little heads up again, I am for the most part around this weekend, so I'll be able to put all my stuff up. I'll put an MMA video probably tonight, if not tomorrow morning. NASCAR's this weekend. I'll make sure to get sheets up there, and I always threaten to do a NASCAR video, and then I just kind of run out of time just because so many other stuff going on. And also the way NASCAR works, you don't even get the starting positions. You have like an hour window between when you can actually start building lineups and then when it closes, so it's kind of hard. Then they'll have tennis continuing. If I remember to do F1, if I remember to do soccer, as much as I can do, I'll do. Again, baseball. Again, just bear with me with the different slates and things like that. I'll do my best to get sheets up, and I'll always at least put something in about like my takes if we can't do an actual video and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just do the best that we can.
Yeah, that's all we can do. All right, I'm getting I basically have a pitcher against my hitter in every lineup that I've got right now.
There you go.
Yeah, I think there's it's 3 games. There's really nothing wrong.
You want to address Joanne real quick about you have any Mateo?
Yeah, I think Mateo's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would include him as a part of the guys we could use.
Okay.
From well, actually, hold on, wait. Is Mateo even in today?
It's a good question.
I don't think Mateo's even in.
Well, if he's not in, then I wouldn't play.
Oh yeah, there he is. He is in. Sorry, I missed him. But she said catcher. He's a shortstop. But yeah, that was she was. I just think I just misunderstood. But yeah, Mateo absolutely could be that. Was an interesting. He's a pivot. Is another cheap pivot off of these guys. I don't think he's going to be particular. I think he actually will be the one who gets ownership, for what it's worth, just because he's cheaper, batting higher in the order, and than the other guys are. So if they're not going to play Lindor, they may just go to Mateo. I'm just going to eat I'm literally just going to, I think I'm just playing Lindor. I don't think I'm even doing anything else at shortstop, but that's okay with me. I'll get weird other ways. And I only have one Taiwan Walker lineup here. So, first base is the thing. You could play the old men at first base, and Pujols and Cabrera, the 2 of the greatest hitters of all time.
Sure are.
And they're going to be low owned. So, might be.
Yeah, I say 140 does it today.
Oh yeah. I think that's probably a good call. I mean, it obviously depends on how many runs.
I joke about saying 100, but I think legit like 140 should be good enough.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can see that being right. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. We're all good there. Oh, it was catcher that you wrote, but that's why I was confused. But I confused myself. It's always tough with these morning ones, especially. It's not been the friendliest sleep schedule lately that I've been on. So, when I wake up, I feel like I'm like, even if I get a little bit of sleep, you know, you feel like you're always catching up. You don't
Yep.
know because you don't sleep, Sheets. I don't even know. For those of you who don't know that, Sheets literally just doesn't sleep. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
She sleeps. Just,
I'll get him. I'll see a post from you in the Discord, and then by like a few hours, like 4 hours later, you're posting again. You're writing something else. I'm like, what happened? That was the night.
see, that's what you don't get is that I actually have interns that post for me when I'm sleeping. You know that when I feel like sleeping, I want to create the illusion that I'm awake. So I just
Right.
have people just post for me all over the place. I got like a 3 a.m. I got a 4:30. I got all that. So.
It's pretty funny.
So I'm gonna end the stream, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hang in there, Bobby. I want to talk to you for a sec.
Okay.